Hello and welcome back to the Ironman challenge. Now when we left off, we had just taken our first fief and we did it in a really sneaky and very opportunistic way. So I think that was pretty cool. Otherwise, what we're doing now is, I don't know whether you noticed the name of the enemy that we're currently fighting here, but it is a Saranid. Yes, a Saranid. I have no idea why they decided to declare war against the Vaegirs, but they did, and as a result, my whole point that I was trying to make in the previous episode where, I said it's a good idea to build an enterprise far away from your actual home, basically. Yeah, that basically doesn't make any difference, apparently, because the Saranids declared war against us, and now my Weaverian dye works that is in Cuba is useless. Yes, that's not very good at all, is it? So what we're going to do here is we are going to try and help out our friend here. This is Boyar Mamun, who is being attacked by a Saranid vassal, and he is, well, actually very close to death. He's very, very close to death. And so I am going to be helping him out as best I can. Now, no doubt you can already see that I have a new horse. I did manage to find my dream horse, basically, which is a... Whoa, okay. Yeah, should probably be a bit more careful about this, considering we're up against high-tier cavalry. But anyway, point is, I found a charger horse, and I basically had a really, really good modifier on it, because you know that I was talking about horse modifiers in previous episodes. Basically, I said, it's a good idea if you don't have a lot of cash, or if you want to save some money, to buy a lame horse, because the lame horse is going to give you a little bit of a price discount. And I bought a lame horse. I literally did. I bought a lame horse. I put it in my inventory, and then I just let my wound treatment do its thing, and I now have a normal charger. So it's just a normal charger, base stats, no modifiers whatsoever, and that's looking pretty good for me. So it has 58 armor and a whole bunch of other stats that are really nice. Otherwise, Mamun, we saved him, got some relation. Emir Dashwal is going to escape, of course. That's just generally what they tend to do. And we will be rescuing some prisoners and taking some prisoners as well. Now, as you can see, I actually was interrupted, basically, because Ravidin was under siege. Quite a bit has happened, by the way, so I'll catch you up very quickly when we get onto the world map. But I just want to point out what I'm actually doing here. Anyway, I was currently in the middle of walking back or riding back from Rodok territory, because I went there to go and get some crossbowmen, and my trainer skill has leveled up, as you can see, quite a bunch of them. I have not been partaking in any battles whatsoever because I have wanted my trainer skill to do most of the work. And you can already see that I actually don't have that much money either. I'll also show you what I've been doing with my money as well. By the way, because I haven't been doing any fighting, I have not had an opportunity to die, so Bertild has not suffered any deaths in that time either. Anyway, let's just level up our Swadian Knights here, and we will go through to the looting screen. As you can see, I actually bought some salt because I thought it might be kind of useful to do that. And otherwise, let's move. Okay, so this is where we currently are. As you can see, Boyar Mamun was just about to be eliminated, and you can see here that Ravidin took a bit of a battering from the Saranids. They, I believe, had a full contingent of vassals there. They had 6, 7, 8, maybe vassals. It seemed that way to me, at least, because I ventured a little bit closer to Ravidin, and I could see what was actually in there. And then they ran off, I think, over here somewhere. I'm not entirely sure, but otherwise, yeah, this is what's currently going on with my army. I have been traveling back and forth between Rodok territory and Wurcheg to take these crossbowmen and the various Rodok units over there to fill our garrison with, and it's been going pretty nicely, actually. It's been going pretty well so far, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's level up Ferentis's strength a little bit now, as well as I do need to level his pathfinding as well, you see, because if he's going to become a vassal, I don't know how soon he's going to become a vassal, but he needs pathfinding to actually be useful as a vassal. So Not sure whether we really want to do that just yet. I'm going to level up another point in Power Strike here, because the next level he's going to level up 12 Strength. Then I'll get him another point in Power Strike, and then he'll have 4 in Power Strike. And then maybe at that point I will start leveling up his Pathfinding or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Otherwise, I'm just going to give him a couple of points in Crossbows as well. And we're going to do a similar thing with Mattchu here, although she has a pretty low Charisma and she has already gained 12 Strength. So it's not actually necessary for me to level her up anymore. So let's just go for Charisma. Going to go for about 12 Charisma, and then we'll see what we can do. But yeah, we're going to start early on her. So we're going to get her 1 in Pathfinding, and then we'll level up her Crossbow Proficiency too. So that's looking pretty nice for us right now. Now, you ask, how did I spend all my money? Well, you can quite clearly see that I bought a charger, of course. The charger was, I believe, 1,200, and I also bought some plate boots, which were 2,200, and then I bought a winged great helm, which is, of course, the moose helm that I talked about in a previous episode, very nostalgic for us, and that was about, I think that was about 2,200 as well. Then I also bought a heavy Morningstar. This was 1,070 or something like that, and that's basically it. So I have just upgraded my gear pretty much, and the only thing that I haven't upgraded is my chest piece, even though that is the most important part, technically, apart from the helm, of course. But I am looking for a very specific set of armor, and I wasn't able to find it. So that's the reason why I haven't got an upgrade for my armor, for my body armor, that is. Otherwise, I have been doing a lot of gathering of food and things, because my morale, as you can see, has been pretty bad. I don't know why it's doing so badly, but it is doing pretty badly right now. Otherwise, I've been transferring iron over from Curor to Ravidin. It now has, I think, 6, and I think there has just been a weekly wage taken, so there's probably 4 left over in there. Let's see if there are any other iron pieces. Yeah, there is 1, and I guess we can sell a little bit of salt here in the meantime, and we'll sell a couple of other things in the process. So we'll gain another 1,200, which is pretty good. And now you may ask, where did the rest of my money go? Well, the rest of my money, oh, hello there. Are you fast? No, we are faster than you. Oh, we are going to save our village farmers. Thank you very much. Anyway, the rest of my money went into a weavery and dye works, and I bought that in, where did I buy that now? I bought it in Cherise, I think. Yeah, I bought it in Cherise because it is a Rodok territory at the moment, and I don't think the Rodoks are going to declare war against us, but if they do, then that's just going to be bad luck. But yeah, so as I was, of course, recruiting around Rodok territory, I decided that I would go to Cherise, because Veluka and Jokala and all of the standard Rodok territories and towns, they generally don't have a very lucrative weavery and dye works industry, because most of their villages are producing velvet very, very quickly. So I was seeing very minor gains. I was seeing things like 200, 300 per week, and I don't really want that. I would like to have at least 400, 500 every single week from a dye works. So I'm hopeful that that is a good idea, putting it in Cherise. But if it isn't, then that's just the mistake that I have to live with. I probably should have put it in a Khergit territory, but I didn't really want to run over to Khergit territory at that time, as I thought that it might put us in a bit of jeopardy, and I didn't really want to potentially come across a massive train of Saranid vassals, because that's going to be really painful for us to deal with. Anyway, let's tell our people to charge in here. As you can see, we decided to take the initiative this time around. Usually I don't tend to take the initiative because I prefer the opponent to have all kind of momentum lost. That's kind of my initial strategy usually. But in this case, I kind of, considering what, I wanted to take them unawares, because they are Khergits, and Khergits are generally very, very difficult to pin down. And as you can see, my horse just took 118 damage from that lance. I could have literally died right there. That could have been my death, but thankfully I managed to survive just about. I'm actually pretty happy that most of the units that are currently dying are just Rodoks. And I say just Rodoks, but I did spend quite a bit of time going over there and getting them. But well, I'd much rather they die than the Swadian Knights, to be honest. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to eliminate the last remaining units. There's only one left. And we do actually have a pretty significant amount of crossbowmen. And bear in mind that these crossbowmen, even though they're relatively low tier, they're still very deadly. They are Rhodoks after all. Rhodoks can be very deadly even at lower tiers, especially as crossbowmen. Anyway, 7 renown, 13 morale. I definitely need that morale. And I was hoping that we could maybe take him prisoner, but no such luck. Alright, so we do have a charger here. Ooh, charger horse. That might be nice. Okay, so some people have been asking me why I haven't given a horse to my combat companions. And there's a reason for that. Generally, what I would like to try and do with Matteld and Ferentis, and indeed Elaine as well. Elaine should probably be up here. But yeah, basically what I have been attempting to do with them is to try and keep them alive as much as possible. And when they have a horse, it makes it a little bit more difficult for that to be, a thing. Because you can see here, Matteld has 85%, Ferentis has 39%, and I suppose Elaine just got caught out or something like that. So in general, personally, I feel like it is a lot better to keep them off a horse, and especially considering that if they don't have riding skill. Thankfully, Elaine does have riding skill, but maybe some of the time they're not going to have riding skill. We're going to level up his pathfinding as well. Let's get a little bit in crossbows too. And can he? No, he can't even ride this, which is unfortunate. I do want to give them some good horses. I'd like to give them something that is actually going to stay alive for a considerable period of time. As you can see, Ferentis also cannot use that. So we are going to need to level up their riding skill. And that's just something that I didn't really want to do. So the one thing that I will have to do instead is I will have to give them step horses. And that seems to be the only thing I can do instead. So I guess we'll do it. I mean, yeah, maybe it's an idea. I don't know, really. I mean, as I say, I feel like it is one of those things where you kind of don't want them running in and then killing themselves, because they might very well do that. So I guess I'll just retag Matteld, and we will retag Ferentis, and they will both be newly acquired cavalry. And I'm going to need to get one more horse. Oh, actually, I do have a horse here. Okay, that's fantastic. Because I don't think I'm going to be leveling up their riding skill, to be honest. I think their riding skill is probably fine as it is. So I will probably replace their step horse with a heavy hunter horse a little bit later on in the series, because I personally like the heavy hunter horse much more than the step horse. I think the heavy hunter horse is a really good horse. Anyway, we are going to level up Deshavi's trainer skill, because of course at the moment we are kind of needing that. We're kind of needing a little bit of extra experience boosts here and there, and otherwise we'll just level everyone else up. Infantry, I guess? Yeah, I don't even know. I basically just took these Vagiers because I'm going to put them into my garrison, and that is going to reinforce us just a little bit. Alright, so let's go into Raverden now. I'm actually kind of pleased that they were unable to complete their siege. It would have been really bad for us. So let's put that iron in there. And I could go to the tavern. I don't want to go into the streets, thank you. I will go into the tavern. Yes, there is a ransom broker here as well. I love it. Thank you very much. That's fantastic. So this is going to give us some cash. I'm not really looking for cash at this point in time. So if any cash that comes my way is easy to get, then I'm definitely going to just do that, because it makes sense. You know, it makes sense for me to be able to recruit more units, level up more units, and so on and so forth. It definitely helps us out in the long run as well, because I will be able to invest that into a nice set of armor or something like that. So anyway, let's have a look here. Okay, so I sold the salt here. Guess we can just sell all of this. And I think we're pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to Werchegg, because I'd like to show you my garrison. My garrison has a pretty decent composition at the moment. Of course, I'm going to be taking most of the units away from there, because I really don't want to leave my high-tier Huskarls and veterans and all that sort of thing in the garrison at Werchegg. I'm pretty much just going to have either 100% Rhodoks or basically just 100% whatever I can get, pretty much. I don't think I'm going to be going down and getting any more Rhodoks anyway, because we have a pretty significant amount of them as it is, as you can see right there. I've made 2 trips, and I was able to get about 60, 70 units, which is pretty good. And otherwise, we are just going to place these in there as well, because technically the AI in Warband will always look at how many numbers you have in a garrison. And that's basically it. That's all they'll do. They'll just look at the numbers. They won't look at the quality of the units. They won't look at anything like that. So they will basically just be like, oh, look at that. There's 300 units there. I'm not going to besiege this. And if you have 300 recruits, then you're going to be saving a lot of money. Because if you have 300 Huskarls, then of course it's going to be eating you out of house and home, which is just going to be ludicrous, and you're not going to be able to sustain that unless you have millions and millions of dinars, which is actually possible. You can get hundreds of thousands of dinars over time in native Warband. It's pretty easy actually to do that, especially once you start conquering territory, once you have a fief, once you're able to, basically just have 100% profit as time goes on. And look at this, the Vagius have actually expanded their territory by taking Dirim from the Saronids. The Saronids declaring war against us was probably one of their biggest mistakes so far, at least in my opinion. Otherwise, what I'm going to do we want to try something? I'm not entirely sure if we want to try something. We might want to. Let's try it out, shall we? Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take our hired blades, our Huskarls, sword sisters, archers, Rodok sergeants are pretty decent, I guess. They're okay. And we'll take some Nord warriors as well. And we'll take some more man-at-arms. And I guess we'll take some footmen and the slave crusher too. And that is going to be it. So that's going to be our garrison for Wurcheg at the moment, which is only 83. I would like more than that. I would like ideally to have about 200 in the garrison there. But the thing is that if a particular faction wants to declare any kind of siege or besiege any of your stuff, it doesn't really matter how many units they have in there. They're just going to go for it, because that's exactly what happened at Ravidin. Ravidin had about 300 to 350 units in the garrison there, and the Saronids just ignored it. They just ignored everything that was going on there, and they just decided to go for it and, damn the consequences, basically. And they then did suffer the consequences as a result, but it was pretty impressive for them to just throw all caution to the wind, really. Anyway, we're going to be taking Albert Castle today. It is only 6 hours to build a siege ladder. I'm hopeful that none of the Nord vassals will appear. No, it seems like they haven't. And Ravidin has been besieged by Emir Nuwas once again. So there may be a fief swapping situation on our hands. Now, if I can complete this siege in Albert Castle without suffering too many casualties, I will rush down to Ravidin and try to defend it myself, and we'll see if that works. Otherwise, let's go in and see what we can do. I'm at full HP right here. Most of my units should be okay to stay alive, and I'm basically just going to do this. I am going to hopefully... Oh, wow. Yeah, veteran archers can do some damage. Artimena has been taken down. Not a big fan of that, I gotta say. But as it stands right now, I think we should be okay. Clethy, I don't even know why they're getting eliminated. They should have their shields up, like everyone else in this situation, but it seems like that's not happening. It's a bit weird. It is a bit weird. Well, maybe what we want to do is actually just charge in, because we have so many Swadian Knights right now, and we do have quite a few hired blades and Nord Huskarls too, so maybe it is just a matter of just charging. Maybe it is just a matter of just charging. So let's try it out and see if it works. Gonna put my archers a little bit higher as well, and maybe once we are climbing the ladders, maybe we can punch a hole in the defense. I kind of wanted to let the archers run out of ammunition at least a little bit before I headed up here, because as you can see, even though I have a pretty decent amount of shield skill, my shield is taking some damage. And it is getting destroyed. So we'll see how it goes. I could very well just absolutely get murdered here, and indeed I could lose the Ironman challenge as a result of being here. By the way, before we head up here, I just want to show you that these are my current settings, same as always, but I just wanted to kind of prove that just in case, because people generally tend to not believe, but there you go. That's what we're going to be doing here, and hopefully I will be able to get up here with minimal casualties. I'm a bit worried about this, actually. Yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. That's actually fine. This is good. This is actually absolutely fine. No problem at all. Difficulties. I don't know whether I should... I don't know whether I should retreat here. My shield is just about to be destroyed. I should take a look at my statistics real quick. Yeah, okay. We'll retreat. We'll retreat. That's absolutely fine. We're still technically alive, but as you can see, that didn't really work too well. I know some people are going to be saying in the comments right now that I could have used my Morning Star in that particular engagement, but I wanted to keep my shield out, and if you use a two-handed / one-handed weapon with a shield, you're going to have a speed penalty when you swing it. And so as a result, I think that I was probably going to be beaten many times in terms of the attack speed ratios that the enemy has in comparison to what I have, and as a result, I was going to take additional damage. So I'm going to abandon the siege here real quick and just see exactly what's going on. Right, so we did eliminate a couple of their Huskarls, which I suppose is actually pretty good. But as it stands, we did lose quite a few units. And I think we probably weakened it up significantly enough so that maybe the Vaegirs will come in here and maybe do a little bit of something. So we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, I'm going to go down to Ravidin now, like I said I was going to. And we'll see what we can do about it. I was actually very tense in that siege. I thought to myself, I'm probably not going to survive this, but you know, Ironman challenge. If this was not the Ironman challenge, I would have gone swinging in there with my Morning Star in a two-handed posture, and I probably would have gotten murdered, but I would have killed a lot of units in the time that I would have been alive. So it would have then given us the opportunity to potentially achieve victory. But otherwise, hello there. We have a very large battle on our hands. What are these guys doing? They are accompanying Boyar Raucha, and they are not helping him. Can you see that? They are not helping him. That is actually kind of hilarious and wrong in all sorts of ways. But anyway, I'm going to just wait here for some time because I am still injured, and many of my companions are still injured as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to head in there. Something rather weird has happened now. It seems like everyone has kind of split off and they are going in alternate directions. We also do have King Yarraglek here. I think it is probably worthwhile for us to help him out because he is going to be our main supporter in the Vaegirs. So you can see here we're at 71%. I don't know whether that's going to be enough, but we are going to have to help him no matter what. So let's do it. There we go. Okay, so the enemy only has 40, so that's actually fine. I was actually going to wait until I was at about 80, maybe 85% health before heading in here because I really don't want to get murdered. And if I do get murdered, that's the end. That's the end of the series. But I'm hopeful that I've done enough to kind of prevent us from having that happen. But of course, there are those kinds of situations that can happen at any point in any series where it will end up in, you know, someone's demise, most likely mine. So we'll see. Otherwise, let's see if we can... I've got a decent balanced army on the battlefield right now, but my allies, of course, have the majority So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to have to send my infantry a little bit forward. Archers can stay here. And we'll tell our cavalry to follow me. Once again, what we're going to do is we're going to act as kind of like a strike team a little bit. I'm going to switch to my Morning Star as well here. I'd like to try and eliminate as many of them as possible. Try and kill them. And then we're going to charge straight on in. Let's do this. Wow, it seems like we are absolutely running them down right now. I do know that this guy actually has a significant Mamluk population in his army, so I don't know where those are. Maybe they are here, maybe they're not. I'm going to try and take the Mamluk prisoner, actually. There we go. That is going to help us out a little bit more in terms of cash. But as far as I'm aware, Mamluks sell for about the same as a Swadian knight, which is 240 dinars, which is not exactly amazing. It's not amazing, so not going to really break my back over attempting to capture these guys. They're not really that worth it. They are worth it if you can get them normally, but in a kind of situation like this, I'm not going to go crazy about it. Oh, hello. Oh, yes. Oh, we might be able to get him this way. There we go. Easy. Easy. Very nice. And that's about 1,000 dinars right there. We were able to capture, I think, about 4 Mamluks. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And there we go. We've also increased our relation with King Yaraglek, which is really nice. All right, so, no, two Mamluks and a couple of guards, 1 guard and a horseman. That's actually going to result in about 1,000 dinars, I think, right there, which is pretty good. You know, not too bad. And we have Sultan Hakim right there as well. I'm actually going to chase him. There we go. Let's get him dead, because we would like to take him prisoner. There's only 13 of... yes, there's only 13 of his units on the battlefield, so I'm just going to tell everyone to charge, and I'm sure the Vaegirs think the same thing, so hopefully they will. Hopefully I'm not going to get murdered by a Mamluk lance. They do have lances, so we want to be a bit careful about that. But in general, I think the greatest thing... well, basically the greatest tip that I can give if you're wanting to also do the Ironman challenge is relying on your allies more than you would normally, because that is a significant thing to bear in mind. Basically, every single time you're going to go into battle, think about your allies, think about the vassals that are going in with you, and think about their forces and how much they can help you out, because in general, as I've said, campaign AI is going to take care of them, no problem at all. But you're going to have to take care of yourself. That's going to be kind of difficult to do over a long period of time. If you end up losing units after units after units, you're not going to be able to, you know, produce an army out of thin air instantly again and again. So being able to rely on your allied units, like I am doing here, is a fantastic boon to the Ironman challenge. It really makes things much, much easier, and you're going to be able to allow them to go in first. You don't have to go in yourself first unless you want to try and take this guy prisoner, which I'm trying to do right now and failing to do so, but you get my point. Otherwise, I believe... is that going to be a capture? Do you think I can capture him? I'd like to. Oh, never mind. Apparently he wasn't even present in that particular fight, which is kind of unfortunate, but there you go. Alright, so that is actually going to be it for this episode, and next time, well, I have no idea what to do, but the Vaegirs are expanding at a rather nice rate, and maybe I'll try Albert Castle again, but I am going to need to restructure my army a little bit, maybe get some Nord units thrown in there. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.